Okay, so I am logged in to the Slack team, and I'm using the Mac app for Slack. But there's a similar piece of software that you can put on a PC, or you can actually put an app on your phone or on your iPad too. And it looks pretty much exactly. It really does look exactly the same. Has all the same functionality, kind of no matter where you're using it. Um, so the one thing that you'll notice, whatever you're logged in on, is you'll see a list of channels and you'll see direct messages. So direct messages are exactly what they sound like. They're just private communication between you and someone else on the team. So anything that gets posted in these places is just like having an email chain going or text messages, and it always stays private between you and the other person. Channels are more public spaces, and they can be created by anyone who's a part of the team, and they can be limited to just a few people, or they can be kind of public access to anyone who's a part of the team. So I'm just going to click on this sandbox channel that I've created to kind of show you how to do some things. And I set the purpose just to play around with Slack. You can see in the general channel, someone has set the purpose it's for team-wide communication and announcements. And you can create a channel just by clicking that plus up there. You have to name it using the sort of conventions that they want you to use, and you can set the purpose. And here's where you can change it so that it's public or private. If it's private, you just have to choose who you want invited to it. But for most things, it's probably going to be public. And you can add this if you want to start a new thread of conversation. If there's something you want to talk about with people, or there's a project that you're working on, this can be a place you can just create that as a place to work. So what's cool about channels is that they archive everything that gets added. So even if you were to join a conversation a month or two after it already started, you can always kind of scroll back and look at the history. And any files or pictures or anything else that's been added will also be there and available to you. So to add something to a channel, you have this dialog box down at the bottom. So that will allow you to type just like you're typing a text message or using any other kind of online messenger. So I'm just going to type something in here. And if I hit enter, it goes. So if you made a mistake and you hit enter thinking you were going to move a line down, you can always choose over here, once you've sort of highlighted what you've written, you can click that more message action and you can edit the message. To get an extra line, you actually can hold the shift key and hit enter, and that will allow you to kind of move down. So let's just say I want to put this on 2 lines. I can save my changes, and there it is. I can also decide that I didn't really want to say that, and I can just delete it. Another way for you to add content, you can click this plus button, and that will allow you to upload a file. It'll also allow you to create a post. And a post is great if you have sort of a longer block of text that you want to put in. Because sometimes those long blocks of text, a long block of text within sort of the conversation can be hard to read because it can't really be formatted. So you can just do this instead, and it also allows you these options to do a little bit of formatting. So you can create headings and bullets and numbered lists and all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm just going to take this big block of text that I have and drop it in here. So now you can kind of make things. I can bold some things if I want. I can make paragraphs, and I can make a bulleted list here. It's now just a little bit easier to convey a lot of information. So I'm just going to click share because I think that's done. I could add a comment when I put it up there, but I'm just going to add it to the channel. We'll take a look at it. So now it's here, and it shows that text, and I can expand it, but now it hasn't kind of disrupted the flow of a normal conversation that's going on. And it also allows people to add comments. So if it's something like a draft of something or a longer thought, now it can that can all be kind of contained as a side conversation, and this longer conversation can happen within the channel just as kind of like a chat. You can also upload all kinds of files into Slack. You can do it by clicking and sort of navigating to the file that you want. You can also just drag a file and drop it in. And that will give you this option about where to share it. So maybe I don't want to put it in the sandbox, but I want to put it in the random channel, or I want to send it as a direct message. I get that choice. If you know that you want to drop it right into this channel, you can hold the shift key, drag it in, and drop it, and it will be added instantly. You can put any kind of file in here. It's not going to kick it back to you saying this is not a valid file type. The other thing that you can do is actually add a Google Doc right in here. So you can take that shared link in Google Docs. It's actually going to ask me whether I want Slack to have access to my files, and I do, so I'm just going to let it do that. And now I've just dropped that link, and here it is. So people can now just open that right from here. The same thing you can do with YouTube videos. You can kind of embed them in here by taking the shared link from a YouTube video and dropping that in, and it'll show up in a video rather than just being a link that people have to click on. So that's sort of the basics of how to add to this. And the other thing that you can do if you run into trouble is in your direct messages, you've got Slackbot who can help answer any questions. So I can ask Slackbot, how do I upload a file? And the bot will be very helpful in showing me what to do. And you can ask any kind of questions about how to use Slack.